So before we begin, please let me know what you think of the new channel logo, and I would also like to shout out my patrons Dudley Reiner, Crimson, Tan, Nude Banner, Damarcus Whitewood, Consular, and Jonah Rodriguez. I'm very much grateful for your support, and if any of you want to support me on Patreon, you can always find the link in the description below. Hey guys, I'm Naya and welcome back to the channel. For today's video, I decided to quickly go over the Tactical Masters set because today early box openings were posted on YouTube and naturally we have the Dual Daddy graphic, the pulls, of course, pictures are all over the internet and we're gonna go over the set. We're gonna discuss all of the reprints, which are really nice actually, and of course we have new archetypes in the form of Mr. Rune or Runic, as they are going to be called Labyrinth and also Valiant. Please let me know what you think, if any of these archetypes interest you, if you're going to be picking any of them up. And yeah, let's just go ahead and get started. So on the first picture here, we're just quickly going to go over the details. So we have 15 collector's rares, and for the most part, they were known, they were pulled, so we know what they are. And the set is dropping in about 2 weeks time. Yeah, on the 24th, and yeah, we have the 3 new archetypes, which are looking quite interesting. I've been looking into them for, a bit. We're gonna do archetype introductions on the channel as well, so I can go more into detail, but for now, we're just gonna go over the set. So first off, we have the Valiant archetype, and one of them is an Ultra and also a collector's rare. So this archetype is like the one I'm least familiar with. I've looked into it a bit, but the other two I covered a bit more. Yeah, for now, like, they seem interesting and they get a couple of super rares and also ultras. So they're looking interesting. And then moving on to the Labyrinth archetype, naturally we have the ultra and the collector's rare in the form of their pseudo boss monster. And then you're also getting the 2 starters, which are Ariana and Ariane. That's at least how I think it should be pronounced. So we have Ariana and we have Ariane in Ultra, and both of them are actually collector's rares as well. It is what it is. Like, I'm not against it, I'm not for it. I'm sort of indifferent when it comes to this, but it's sort of obvious that it's going to get printed in high rarities. So like I said, it is what it is, but they are starters for the deck. So at least it's something. At least it's not just a random waifu card, but they do something for the archetype. And in tandem with that, we also have the Ultra in the form of the Welcome Labyrinth, which in connection with the field spell helps out the archetype, of course. It is heavily reliant on trap cards, and it's cool to see a couple, newer and fresh reprints for those trap cards. So the one I'm probably most excited about is the Mr. Rune archetype, or Runic as they are called right now, and they do get the collector's rare field spell, and the field spell is so busted. Like, the other day we were doing test hands and Runic just seems unbelievably good, but sort of like if you just get to play on your own, which pretty much any archetype is good if you don't get disrupted. But when we were doing test hands and pretending we didn't get disrupted, it seemed really good. So we'll see how the archetype actually does, and we'll actually see how many of these cards are going to be accessible, since we are getting ultras for the starters and the most important cards of the set. So yeah, we'll see. The Searcher is Ultra as well, but I like the fact that most of them are at least supers, so you have a nice looking archetype if you decide to play it, but we'll see how accessible it is. Overall, it seems good. It seems like it has potential, maybe like at the rogue tier, because we do have some very strong decks present in the meta right now, so I guess we'll just see what happens. But we also get the Fusion as an ultra rare, and then we have 2 super rare ones. So the one that searches the field spell is naturally the ultra. It's the one you probably go for, at least at the beginning of your combo. And then we're getting into the reprint. So the best one is naturally going to be Joel and Lockbird. It was way due to get a reprint, so I'm very excited for that. And if I remember correctly, like, Skullmeister was one of those rare hand traps that used to be like, you could always get it in like almost every single pack. You could pull a Skullmeister from those side sets. It was like, I don't remember which set it was. I'll post a picture on here, but hopefully Joel is as accessible as Skullmeister was as a rare, so we actually can get a lot of them, because it is a good hand trap and it's cool to have on hand. So I'm really excited for that. And also we are getting a collector rare Droll, if I'm not mistaken, and most of these reprints are actually going to be collector rare ones. So we're looking at Scapegoat, which, sure, it went to 3 So like if you want Scapegoat and Collector, you can own it now. And also Astrograph Sorcerer. So this might mean that it's going to 3. I guess we'll just see, but I think without Electromite it's still not like as abusable as it could be. And then we also have Traptree Collector's Rare, which looks amazing, and there's Compulse as a reprint. We have the Collector's Rare Anti-Spell, so you know, to not spend too much time or words on Anti-Spell, I realize that most of the community is sort of hating on it right now. We're getting a Collector's Rare, so that's kind of funny, but I don't know, maybe it means it's getting hit. And if it goes to like 1 or something, then I guess you can snag your Collector Rare copy and play that if you want. I don't know. It's interesting for sure, but it doesn't look bad. So there's that. And we also have Cosmic Cyclone, also a Collector's Rare. So I'm on the side of secret rare ones. I love my secret rare Cosmic Cyclones, but the Collector's Rare is looking okay. So like, you know, there's that. And we also have the chap cards, like I mentioned, you know, you get Reckless Greed, Imperial Iron Wall, you have Fiend Griffing, and then Trap Trick and Compose. So a couple good chap cards. And then also what's really interesting to me is Invader of Darkness is in here. So it's like you're printing an archetype and then you're also giving a card that counters the archetype a reprint in the set. So, you know, Invader of Darkness, amazing against Runic, so that's kind of funny in itself. But we also get Book of Eclipse, and I think this card is going to be quite strong moving forward. I do think it's an impactful going second card, so it's cool to have a very available, like widely available copy of Book of Eclipse, you know, on the market, so you can get it. And yeah, like for the most part, this set is actually looking not bad. Like those side sets are sometimes kind of not that strong in terms of the contents, but you know, archetypes are looking good, and we'll see how they actually do in the meta. And those reprints like Droll are like in the first place of like the coolest reprint. And then also Absolute King Backjack, which can work in tandem with Labyrinth. So you have a lot of things actually, and I can't say I'm against it, you know? And you have some really cool looking Collector's Rares like you saw on the screen. So yeah, I don't know, like doesn't seem like the worst set. And I'm kind of interested to see how Runic does for the most part. Like Labyrinth seems cool and all, Valiant's not so great, but Runic I'm curious about. So let me know what you think, let me know which cards are you going to be picking up, and if you enjoyed the video, of course, like it, sub to the channel, check out all the social media, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!